My name is Pietro Stefanini, and this is my journey. It may have begun at the City University of London, hearing the words apartheid, colonization, oppression. It may have begun with my readings and study of the Palestinian struggle, words from Shaima about their dispossession and loss.
So this year, as some of you might know, it marks 70 years of the Palestinian popular resistance against the ongoing process of dispossession, colonization, and ethnic cleansing.
But my journey actually begins with Ahmed. It is Ahmed's words that hit home.
مش بطالب، أنا بدي أتحدى باسمي أحمد شهادeh وباسم كل لاجئ فلسطيني في مخيم الشتات، إن كان في مخيم برج البراجنة وإن كان بأي مخيم ثاني. أنا بتحدى أي واحد يجي يعيش مش 70 سنة، إننا 70 سنة طالعين من فلسطين، مش 70 سنة، 7 أيام. يلا وصلنا احنا. الحمد لله على السلامة.
السلامة.
شكرا كثير. هلا وسهلا فيك. بيترو.
هاي.
مرحبا.
مرحبا.
كيفك؟
الحمد لله.
الحمد لله تمام.
كيف الحال؟
ويلكم، نايس تو سي يو.
شكرا.
تفضل. نورت لبنان، ويلكم تو لبنان.
شكرا.
تفضل.
كيفك؟
الحمد لله، أنت كيفك؟
تمام.
تمام؟ الحمد لله.
People always ask you, what are your first impressions? I don't know. Perhaps I'm too nervous to take anything in. It is a place I would hurry to leave. Electrical wires and rain mixing, I remember that.
اهلا وسهلا.
مرحبا.
اهلا وسهلا. اهلا
تفضل.
وسهلا. يا هلا ومرحب.
مرحبا.
يا هلا يا هلا، كيف الحال؟ كيف
الحمد
الصحة؟
لله.
ان شاء الله
الحمد
مبسوط.
لله.
يا
أنا
مرحبا.
اسمي بيترو.
عبد الله مصطفى شحادة من كويتات.
شرفنا.
فلسطيني.
شرفنا.
زيدك شرف. يا هلا، تفضلوا.
شكرا.
تفضل.
شكرا.
تفضل. اهلا وسهلا. اهلا وسهلا. اهلا
مرحبا
وسهلا.
جدي.
اهلا وسهلا. اهلا اهلا
حبيبي.
اهلا وسهلا، كم السلام.
شكرا.
كيف الحال؟
الحمد لله.
الحمد لله كل ساعة، كيف صحتك؟ بخير؟
تمام. تمام.
تمام إن شاء
تمام.
الله.
تمام.
هاي صورتي وصورتي الحجة. بعرفه كمان الفاضل المرحوم ابني كمان انتقل لرحمة الله، عمره كان 48 سنة. تشمع كبد.
السلام عليكم.
تفضلي.
السلام عليكم.
عليكم السلام ورحمة الله. بنتي
فاتن. عافية حالك.
السلام عليكم.
نعم فاتن. نبيلة.
نبيلة.
عليكم السلام.
تمام.
نبيلة.
تمام.
آية.
السلام عليكم. كيفك؟
تمام.
آمنة.
يا حفاظ. بصير ندلك شو هاي وشو هاي.
Some words, not all words.
أهلين. الحجة تاعتي بالمستشفى بالعناية الفائقة، وإذا الله دخيل اسمه الله بتمنى كنت تكون هي الحجة معانا هون وبتحكيك عن قضية فلسطين ورزق فلسطين وتراث فلسطين. يعني
في ناس بخافوا يبعتوا ابن المساء على لبنان. بخافوا.
This is a good point. She's telling me that some people, okay, the British people, some of them maybe they afraid to send their children or their to Lebanon. Your parents, it's okay.
My parents, yeah. My girlfriend,
Yeah.
she's scared a bit.
Scared.
Yeah.
No need to be scared.
بدي سلامك يلا.
The family stay long enough to make me feel welcome.
إن شاء الله.
It is a small place to have as home, but it is a home. And Hajj Abdullah insists to give me his room to sleep in.
أهلا وسهلا.
أهلين.
هاي غرفتك هون. تنام هون. يا رب. أحمد. أحمد. في معك بشكير؟
نعم.
معك؟ أوكي.
معك.
هاد بتحط لي إياه هون أو بتحطه هون عند.
Lots of people coming in and out of the house. Must have seen at least 30 different people. Normal evening for them. Although when you start kind of zooming out and thinking where I am in a refugee camp with Hajj who's been here for 70 years and he's been a refugee almost all his life. Kind of feels strange that is so permanent for him to be in a camp and being a refugee.
أصبح الصباح سبحان من أخذ الليل وأتانا بالصباح يرحمك يا ولد أيها الصباح وكل صلاح وكل خير ربنا وصاح اللهم افرجها على عبادك تصلح الأمة العربية والإسلامية وتوفقهن توحدهن يا رب العالمين. لما كنا بكويكات كان إلي جد اسمه عبد الله وعنده طرش معزة يعني وغنم. كان يزرع فول ويزرع أشياء هالبيت يعني حنطة قمح. بس الفول اللي عندنا إحنا بفلسطين ويزرعوه هو نفس اللون هيك خضار بس خضار وعندنا بيكون زاهي أكتر لأنه بعل. نزرع إحنا بعل ما نسقي مي ما عندنا مي بعل يطلع. بقينا نزرع مارس كبير يعني شيء 10 دلم.
أنا أصلاً ما بتذكر شيء منيح من يوم ما خلقت. كله حربات وكله حصار كان مخيمات وإجا حرب الاجتياح. يعني طفولتي كلها كانت بالحرب. أنا يعني أكتر أوقاتنا كانت بالملاجئ حتى المدارس. يعني ندرس شهرين ويصير في حرب بالمخيمات بنروح على المدرسة يطلعونا صف. يعني كانت مأساة هون بالمخيم. يعني إحنا ما عشنا طفولتنا. أنا ما بتذكر عشت طفولتي.
هاش متى طلعت من فلسطين؟
إحنا طلعنا بال48 طلعنا على منطقة اسمها أبو سنان على ترشيحة. من ترشيحة على المنصورة جعت بقلب المنصورة بدي آكل.
As he brings me to the nursing home, Hajj Abdullah starts to tell me about his escape from Palestine when he was a boy and the beginning of his life in the diaspora.
عبد الناصر يا جمال يا أهار الإسلام فيكم حققنا الآمال ونلنا غاية وحدتنا.
Here, for a brief pause in time, the people of the diaspora show me that when they are together, they can relive a life taken from them so violently in 1948. Around the others, Hajj Abdullah shares the rest of his story.
انهزمت وفت على المنصورة. دقيت على هالقوات الحديد وإلا فتح لي شيخ لابس طربوش من إخواننا الدروز. قال شو مالك يا ابني؟ قلت له جوعان بدي آكل. قال خصص جوا. جاب 5 6 رقبة وحط لي إياهن وغرف بالقلاي. إحنا بنعرفها القلاي شو هي. من قلب الطنجرة مجدرة حمراء. بتذكرها والله. قال يا ابني هاي الخبزات وهاي المجدرات ما تاكل هون يا ابني، كل بأرض لبنان قبل ما يكمل الطوب. إحنا قلت لأبوي هيك، استعجل أبوي وإخوتي، نزلنا على أرض هيئة الشعب بلبنان. ما وصلنا على هالأرض وقعدنا وإلا دبابات إسرائيلية اتطوقت. هاي النكبة، هاي نكبتنا بال 48 يا بيتر. تفضل كيف عملت فينا إسرائيل، تفضل كيف عم بتشردنا وبتطلعنا.
In horror, I listened to the stories of Nakba, the catastrophe, told to me by people who were children then and have lived with their tragedy for 70 years.
بيتر كانوا بالسنجة مش برصاص، بالسنجة شقوا الولد الطفل بالسنجة. هاي من الصهاينة، هاي بني صهيون.
Haj Abdullah and his friends tell me the Zionists coming from Europe committed these massacres, these indiscriminate killings of innocent, unarmed people, not the native Jewish people who had lived side by side with the Muslims and Christians for over 2,000 years. It was the Zionists who stole the Palestinian homeland and made the people of the Nakba homeless.
احنا مواليد النكبة اللي عشنا بالشوادر. كنا صغار، الشوادر تطير عنا بالشتاء. كروت الأعاش اللي عطونا إياها إن نوقف بالدور صفوف لحتى ناخذ المونة. الحمامات كانت تبعد عن بيوتنا كتير. إحنا صغار نطلع بالشتاء. إن المدارس كانت بالشادر. المي نروح نصب بالليالي لحتى نزق نقلة المي.
بالمخيمات بلبنان، بالأردن، بسوريا، وين في تواجد فلسطيني ضربونا. مثل ما عم بنضربوا بفلسطين كمان احنا هون انضربنا كتير. ما قبل يعني من يوم ما فتحنا عينينا واحنا على الحرب.
حرب ال 67 أثرت علينا، حرب 82 أثرت علينا، حرب ال 86 أثرت علينا. كل الحروبات اللي صارت أثرت علينا نحن كأبناء الكبار. نحن ما محفوظة كرامتنا، نحن مدعوسة كرامتنا هون.
Yet, despite their pain, there is a hope here that has grown in depth and belief and strength every year of the 70 years these people have held it.
حجة
نعم.
شو هذا؟
هذا مفتاح بيتنا بفلسطين، وهلا بيتنا بعده موجود. وأنا يعني رغم كل السنين وطولت سنين 70 سنة راح نرجع على فلسطين، ومتأملة نرجع على فلسطين بإذن الله، وبعدني محتفظة فيه لحد هلا.
The key of return, symbolic, I now realize, of a sense of purpose and belief we do not always have.
بيوتنا تهدمت، حياتنا كلها تهدمت، وخربوا حياتنا ومحتفظين بمفتاحنا، لأن عندنا أمل بإذن الله نرجع. إحنا بيتنا بالغبسية كله تهدم، فيه بس الجامع.
I leave the center humbled by the suffering these people have endured and continue to endure, but also inspired by their greater resilience.
Like this, you like? لبنة، جبنة.
لبنة وجبنة. شاي. زيتون.
بندورة.
Nabila and Fatin prepare the food every day. They sit and eat as a family, and this is when most conversations happen. This is their safe place.
But you're doing a fried egg? I put it in and leave it there? Okay.
يلا انت واحد مننا يا بيترو.
بيترو انت بدك العينين يحطوا هذا الصحن عندك من غير.
You like this or this?
Both.
Oh both خلاص
أيوة.
اثنين بحب.
اثنين بتحب. أهلا وسهلا فيك.
طيب اللبن هون.
طيب كتير.
بيترو هيدا زعتر.
زعتر من وين؟
من وين؟
من فلسطين.
فلسطين.
كيف حجة؟
حجة بخير إن شاء الله. الحجة منيحة. والحجة معاي من ال56 وإلها البيت بلاها معتم لأنه الحجة هي عمري وهي حياتي الحجة، وإن شاء الله تطلع لنا بخير وسلامة وبتيجي على بيتها مبسوطة.
This will be my second night sleeping here. One moment is like a very happy, intense, emotional moment. Then suddenly can be just very depressing, realizing where you are. The Old People's Center felt like a very unique experience to be with, I don't know, maybe 20, 30 old Palestinians, probably all, or most of them, who were in Palestine before 1948. You get used to it, but you don't. It's not a normal life for sure. Yeah. Ahmed was the one who challenged me to come here. I want to know about him. I want to see him in his world. I know the strength of Abdullah comes from his childhood and then expulsion from Palestine. He knows what he's waiting for, why he endures what he does. But I wonder about the generation born in the camp. Ahmed shows me another of his many skills when he insists on making me a coffee at his local cafe. He has studied to be a nurse, but is not allowed to practice because he is a Palestinian refugee. His friends, each of them with hopes and dreams and possibilities, are also thwarted at every step because they are Palestinian refugees. Ahmed sings now at weddings inside the camp. That is his only way to provide for his young family.
كملها انت يلا كمل كمل كمل. هو من بريطانيا.
هو ايطالي؟ هو ايطالي، نص بريطاني نص ايطالي.
تشجع يوفنتوس؟
لا يوفنتوس. انتر.
ميلانو.
Ahmed was fortunate to study. Many of his friends did not have this chance.
This guy will dance moving.
ما انت؟ دبكة؟
اليوم بتشوفوا.
اليوم شوف إن شاء الله. I wonder what the future holds for these young men. How will they support a family? Do they dream of another life outside the camp? This reminds me of how easy it was for myself and my good friend Jack to get a job. Some things become possible for some purely because of where they were born. Jack got a job working with disadvantaged youth in London. We were laughing at the time when he told us.
So you got the job? Yeah. And it was thank you. It was funny. I literally rocked up there, and all the other people, I didn't get there late or anything, but there were people like there waiting in the foyer, and I was like a little bit older than everyone else, so I was really kind of like, and I dressed like quite smart. I wore like pointy leather shoes and like suit trousers and a shirt, and everyone else there was in like Air Force Ones and like tatty t-shirts, and I was like,
because you're supposed to be
exactly, and I felt support for it exactly, and then I was like, oh no.
You still got the job though.
I got the job.
I am happy for Jack, but right now remembering our privilege hurts. Ahmed was prevented from realizing his dream of nursing, but it has not stopped him from volunteering his time with the young people of his camp. He's making a real difference in the life of these kids, even while holding on to such a disappointment in his own. To make me look at Ahmed in a new light.
You try?
Anna? I'll try.
Yeah, come.
You teach me?
I'll teach you. Come. Look at my, okay? Okay. 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 تمام. تمام. برافو بيترو.
Back home, life continues. Despite there being no chance of getting a job, families still value education. I see the youngest generation now, filled with potential and brilliance.
أنا أدي الأول بالعربي وبالإنجليش الريدنج الكتابة ريدنج 10 عن 10 ما في غير أنا أخذ 10 عن 10 وبالإنجليش كمان أخذ.
It is 6 a.m. and the time that Lil Jana, Hajj Abdullah's great-granddaughter, has to wake if she is to try and reach the UNRWA school on time. I walk with her as she makes her way through the camp to the place where the bus will pick her up. This is education for the children of the camp. This is what school means. I feel like we're standing in a war zone as we wait for the bus that no one seems to know how long it will be before it comes. There is no sheltered bus stop or seat for the children to sit on if their legs are tired. There is no electronic board to let us know when the next bus will arrive. And the only thing for sure is that there will be more than 6 minutes between buses. I wonder if I would have had the determination when I was 8 years old. Lack of schools and means of transport is not the only threat to the young. The hanging cables is a constant danger, and according to UNRWA, 50 in Burj Al Barajneh camp have been electrocuted so far. 37 of these lost their lives. I wonder how many people this clinic must provide for. Each child, each mother, has a story that stretches over countless shadows of despair, war, and loss. Everyone has faced the realities of dispossession and are refugees.
Abdullah Shehadeh, تفضل عمي. نعم. يا رب.
الحج مريضة.
سلامتها. بس انت قد ما فيك عمو هلا كتر سوائل سخنه زورات شوربات شيء هيك دافي كثير منيح بس لعلمك. تفضل عند الحكيم. اهلا وسهلا فيك عمي.
ان شاء الله حبيبي دكتور. يوفق لنا يا حبيبي. الله يحفظك.
I wanted to know if this is the only clinic in the camp?
Yes.
Is it the only one?
Yes.
And it's serving 20,000 people?
About 25,000.
25,000 Palestinians. Does it serve also Syrians? No.
Yes.
Oh, yes. Yes.
Palestinian refugee from Syria.
Yes. The influx of Syrian refugees has doubled the number of people the clinic must now provide for. The people with the least have been the only ones opening their doors to the needy. The good news is that Hajj Abdullah has just got a cold and will recover. But good news is seldom separated from bad here. And Hajj Abdullah learned some news he was fearing.
ما حيطلعوها اليوم اجى الدكتور قال لا عندها سيلان الدم كثير عالي مع انه خلصوا لها الاوراق بالضمان وكل شيء بس شاف الدكتور في حسابها سيلان عندها عالي فحيخلوها لبكره اذا الله راد لبعد الظهر يمكن 12 ونص انه ما فيها يخرجها اليوم لانه رجعت متعبه. وهي عندها وقالوا كل شيء خالص على اساس تطلع بس ما مشى الحال الدكتور ما خلاها.
مين بتزور هنا في المقبرة؟
هون بزور جوزي سمير. جوزي
كان كبير العائلة يعني عن جدي عبد الله اللي احنا قاعدين عنده كان ابنه الكبير
كان شاب ويلبق له.
في أنا عندي هون عندي أبوي هون وعندي أمي هون مدفونة وفوق أبوي في إخواتي عندي 4 بنتين وصبيان.
Dumua is her name. It means tears. I wonder how she remains so strong. Her siblings killed in a civil war, and her mother killed by a car at the entrance to the camp after finishing her work as a cleaner.
الله يرحمنا.
فكل ما يموت مثلا حدا انه الموصي على الميت يعملوا له اياه يدفنوه فوق حدا ثاني. هلا امي احنا موصين انه اختي موصتنا هي امي الثانيه انه اذا صار لها شيء لا سمح الله ندفنها فوق امي.
It's hard for the parents to see their children growing up here, knowing as they do that they will have to face a life without any rights as a citizen. Up until now, I have seen on the surface how life is tough for them. But tonight, for the first time, there is a tension in the house that reveals to me something much deeper.
أنا ما بستغني عن فلسطين ولا بأرضى بأي جنسية، وأنا بطالب كل دول العالم لأصل ما بطالب إلا بحق العودة لفلسطين.
أنا خلقت بلبنان، ما بعرف فلسطين بس بحبها كثير.
بنسمع عنها.
بنسمع عنها وعم بعلم أولادي إذا أعطاني رب العالمين عمر إن شاء الله بنشوفها.
إن إحنا ما بنتخلى عن فلسطين زي ما قالوا حق العودة، بس الجنسية لإلنا هلأ بهالوقت منيحة، مثلا إحنا الفلسطيني ما فينا نشتغل غير بمهن محصورة يعني، ما فينا نفوت مثلا على الدولة، ما فينا زي ما قالت نسجل شيء باسمنا هون نملك، بس غير على صعيد مخيم.
طلاب من جيالي خلصوا جامعات ومهندسين ودكاترة بس ما بيشتغلوا. أنا تمريض، ما في مهنة، ما في شغل. عشان هيك نحن بحاجة لجنسية إن كانت لبنانية ولا إن كانت غير لبنانية. عرفت كيف؟ حتى لو صومالية أو هندية. أنا ستي مرضت من فترة. قبل هالمرضى الله يخلي لنا إياها تاج فوق راسنا يا رب. مرضت ممنوع تفوت على المستشفى إلا لما بدك تحط $7,000. $7,000 على باب المستشفى. طب الساعة 3 الصبح نحن وين نلاقي $7,000 لحتى نفوتها بس على باب المستشفى؟ ليش؟ لو لبناني كنا فتنا على الضمان، بس فلسطيني ما فيك تفوت. نحن لما نروح على المستشفى هون you have money؟ معك مصاري بتفوت مستشفى، ما معك مصاري موت. مرة حبلة خلفت على باب المستشفى ما فوتوها على المستشفى لأنه ما معها مصاري.
ما في حقوق.
ليش؟ لأنك فلسطينية؟ لأنك فلسطيني؟ أنا ما بدي لبنان، أنا بدي أسافر.
I have not seen this hurt in Ahmed before. Now I know to what depths of despair existence in this camp can bring a man. The camp is no longer a story for me, pictures I can see in a book or refracted to me from the TV screen, from which I'm removed and can remove myself at any moment. The camp is in me. I wander through the camp and look, images imprinted in me forever, beneath the deadly electrical wires cutting across the skylines and enclosing the treeless streets. The pulsing life of the camp is real, and the kindness and generosity welcoming.
شكرا. منيح.
As I was wandering one day, I remember my eye being caught by a house in one dusty street of the camp. It was quite beautiful on the outside. It was called insan, human. Rooms filled with artistic projects, in a way strangely at odds with the stark and harsh reality of the camp. I wondered if this were some museum, some funded art center for the privileged. I learned from Namer, the chairman of Insan, that this was actually a drug rehabilitation center. No funding came to this center, and it was built upon the ruins of a prison. A remarkably small number of drug offenders live in the community, Namer tells me. But for them, this center has proved to be the way back to the community. For the young Palestinians living in the camp, there is more they can do to resist a life of despair. In the midst of the crowded streets, the kids keep playing football, ensuring their survival. What strikes me most is how, out of the darkness, everyone I meet here is trying to find hope. Music, nurtured by volunteer musicians, is bringing beauty back to an ugly existence. For a brief moment here, these people celebrating together are not refugees at all, but are equal citizens of the world. I feel so lucky to be witness to this.
This is a sample from our people, from our camp. For your visit to our camp. It's very big for us, British man, to come to our camp here. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you. My journey has been a journey of self-discovery. As I walk home with Ahmed, I realize how happy I am to be coming to the door that only 6 days ago I approached with apprehension and uncertainty. I love drinking tea with the family and helping Nabila and Fatin with the food. I love the sound of the children and seeing them smile and laugh. I want to be their advocate. I want to make what difference I can. Want everyone to feel what I've felt and to see what I've seen. One thing that they kept telling me is that we're just human like everyone else, and they just want to live a normal life. And they kept emphasizing that, you know, they will return one day, and that will happen. And so, although they feel that there is a huge injustice being committed against them, but they're still not giving up on seeking this their goal, which is to go back to Palestine and to live there.
It's such a depressing situation, you know. You just wonder how on earth we're going to unravel it. It's like a great ball of string that's got into such a mess. The West Bank.
Human misery is just, well, I mean, what annoys me so much is that it's basically ignored by international governments and international opinion. I mean, there's, you know, it's very, very hard to get an airing for this subject.
And that's why one of the things I wanted to ask from this meeting is if in this parliament would be so important if we could have perhaps a debate on the issue of Palestinian refugees, if we could have the issue being more at the forefront. It would be very important to the people living in the refugee camps in Lebanon and elsewhere, and especially as a British citizen, they reminded me that Britain has a special responsibility. The two parliamentarians, Jenny Tong and Tommy Shepherd, were keen to listen to Haj Abdullah's story and stories from the camp, but I realized how complicated the Palestinian issue is.
Whenever you meet Palestinians in the camps or anywhere else, you always get positive messages from them. I mean, they're always, you know, arranging things, doing things, having festivals, carrying on, making their lives normal, educating their children. The children are educated and educated and educated. That's a wonderful thing. They're very positive people, actually. They're not going to let their culture die.
تفضلوا. الله يسلمك يابا. وعليكم السلام. اهلا وسهلا. نورت يا روحي، نورت.
ايوه مثلك بنت اختك، تعال.
نورت يا عمري، نورت. نورت يا حبيبتي، نورت. خلي لي اياك يا رب.
نورتي يا حجي، نورتي.
طول لي عمرك يا حبيبتي.
ان شاء الله.
باي.
سلامة.
شرفت. بخير وسلام.
مع السلامة.
نشتاق لك كثير، ضلك احكي معنا.
Yes, I have your numbers.
يلا روح معك، أنا ماشي معك.
بدي أروح معك.
ماشي معك أنا.
أوكي. باي.
يلا حبيبي.
خطيبتك.
Thank you. شكرا.
وتذكرنا يا بيترو. اوكي؟
يلا تفضل. سلامات شيخ، كيف الحال؟ سلامات. يا حبيبي. بقول لك سلم على الحبيبة وسلم بابا وماما.
شكرا.
سلم كثير السلام.
شكرا.
حبيبي.
شكرا.
الله يكون معك. الله يكون معك. الله يكون معك حبيبي. حبيبي. الله يسهل امرك يا روحي. الله ييسر امرك يا حبيب قلبي. الله يستر امرك. الله يستر امرك. الله يستر امرك. مع السلامة. مع السلامة. باي.
Take care of yourself.
You too.
Don't forget me. I want to call you all day.
Write to me. We have my number.
Is the Minister aware of families like that of Haj Abdullah Shehadeh from Kikat in Palestine, who were driven from their homes and prosperous farms 70 years ago and have been living in camps and temporary accommodation in Lebanon since then? And is he aware that the Lebanese government continues to restrict Palestinians' right to work, prohibits them from owning property, and refuses access to healthcare and education, leaving them dependent on UNRWA, who have diminishing funds? Can he really be content to let this continue for another 70 years? Or will the Palestinians be allowed the right of return to their homeland as prescribed in international law?